Hi everybody, I'm the baby, I'm Josh, and as you can, we're like the Von Trapp children, we're like tall, medium, shortest. I was so lucky to be my mom's last son, her baby. She had me when she was 40 and a half years old. My dad was 43 and a half. And you know, now people have kids in their 40s and 50s. Back then, no one had kids in their 40s and 50s. So I remember when I turned like 40 and a half, and I turned 43 and a half, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I would just start to have a baby now. And I just was blown away and so grateful by what my mom was and what she did and took on at such a late time in her life. So I want to recount because I think really understanding how remarkable my mother is completely encapsulated in the story of my birth. So, my mom was on bed rest from 5 months on, going crazy because I was coming early, right? So she had to just lay in bed with her feet up forever. She was, you know, she's an athletic woman, right? She was going nuts. So she's in her 9th month, and they moved out to LA. She's in her 9th month. They take her. She goes to the OB that morning. I think it was Dr. Tush, appropriately. And while my mother's being examined, he tells her the story that happened to another colleague of his. So she's being examined. Says, "Well, you know, this happened to a friend of mine. He's delivering a child, and they didn't reach up and check to see if the cord was around the baby's neck before the final push, and sadly, the baby didn't make it." And my mother's there like, really? In my 9th month, when I'm ready to pop, you're telling me this story? You kidding me? So she was just pissed off and she split, and she was not going to go back to bed at all. And she said to my dad, "I'm not going back to bed. We are going to the movies tonight." So they went to go see Tom Jones with Albert Finney. There's a really funny scene in that. It's a very funny movie, and there's kind of like a sexual foreplay scene where they're just silently eating food and very sexually toward each other, and they get more and more aroused, and they run upstairs and they, you know, slam the door. And my mom laughed so hard during that scene that she came home and her water broke. So at 4 in the morning, she nudges my father and she says, "Come on, this is it. We're time to have the baby." And we were on the 2nd floor in Palms near Culver City, all right? So it was like a long staircase to go down from our apartment down to the street level to get to the car. So my mom is like, "Come on, we're having the baby, let's go." And my dad is grabbing the still camera, the video camera, the tripod, the thing. And my mom is just going down the stairs in labor alone because my father's too busy with all the equipment. They get into the white Pontiac, and there were less freeways then. They're driving to get to Cedars of Lebanon near Vermont, on side streets, and at about 4:25, 4:30 in the morning, she's like, "Pull over, this is it, we're not gonna make it." And she laid down in the front seat in the gas station, a Chevron gas station, at 4:30 in the morning, and she coached my father how to deliver me. So I start to come out, and he goes, "Oh, we have a boy." And she's like, "How do you know that?" He goes, "Well, what do you think I'm seeing?" I was breech in a gas station with no doctors and my father not being a doctor. So she just kept coaching on how to do it. She pulls me out. I made it. She's like, "What do? Slap him on the butt like they do in the movies, right?" I start to cry. I was wrapped in his shirt and his cardigan sweater that I still have and I wear on my birthday. So that was the story of my birth. My mother, the last thing I want to say is, right before the final push, she said, "Wait, reach up and check for the cord to see if the cord was around the neck." Luckily it wasn't, but that's why she went to Dr. Tush that morning. So it's all shared. It is for a reason. One. That's my mom in the bed, like that same next morning. And there we are. That's the white Pontiac I was born in. And I was really into that. I always wanted to return to my birthplace a lot. So my mom was always about, as you know, athletic adventure. We got to do stuff that no other kids did. She used to take me horseback riding in Beverly Park, which became the Beverly Center, if anyone remembers that from the old days. I had an amusement park and a horse place, and that was Mom taking me around on my favorite horse, Goldie. I think I'm 2 years old there, and I'm horseback riding because of her amazing, just pushing kids to do things and learn as quickly as possible. She would make big note cards from the time I was 1 year old, with like mommy written, homemade on the poster board, or daddy, or doggy, or whatever. And literally by the time I was 1 year old, I could read because of that stimulation. She would always have Fiddler on the Roof playing on the phonograph. I knew all the words to Fiddler on the Roof and began my obsession with musical theater by the time I was 1 year old. And by the time I was 3 years old, I was completely self-sufficient in swimming. So mom would just always take me, I think I'm 2.5 or 3 there. We're near Grandpa and Grandpa on Lake Elsinore in their pool. It was wonderful. And then, as I said, my start with musical theater, one of the things that I was such an active, so into make-believe and fantasy, obviously went into show business. So I was obsessed with fairy godmothers when I was like 4 years old. I mean, watching Cinderella with Leslie Ann Warren, I love that magic wand, or Glinda and the Wizard of Oz. I was like, I want that magic wand, I want to do that magic, it's so pretty. So instead of, and my mom was like so accepting and so supportive. My dad was a little more reticent, but my mom was like full guns, whatever he wants to do, if he's into it, we're gonna do it. So she helped me put together at 4 years old my first fairy godmother outfit and make my first magic wand. Yeah, instead of saying, go play ball, she's like, no, let's do this. And if you notice, the first magic wand I had was a Jewish star. It's a 6-pointed Jewish star. Yeah, so I guess I was the official first Jewish fairy in our family. I'm sure there's more, but if y'all want to, we can talk about that at the house. We can hold a big discussion. Let's see. Okay, so as I pursued theater, there was no better fan in the entire world than my mom. She was in the front row at every show. And sometimes she would even, as I was directing, she would want to come for the whole day, and sometimes she had to because that's when I had to pick her up to come to the show. I had to pick her up early in the day, and then she'd be there for the 8-hour build before the performance. So she would just sit there in the audience and kind of watch the whole thing come together, never complain, never go to the bathroom. She was like a camel. She could just sit there and just watch and enjoy. And she would be the shill. She would be in the audience, starting the applause, starting the laughter, getting up, come on, this is funny, you can react to this, y'all, let's go. And she was that kind of support team all the way through everything. She loved to travel. She would travel with me all over California. She traveled with us to Decatur, Illinois, to Chicago. I brought her to London for Kiss of the Spider-Woman, to New York for the Broadway stuff. She was always right there and ready to travel. And she loved surprises. So this is something else that's extraordinary about my mom in terms of her outreach and her caring. I was on tour with Kiss of the Spider-Woman. We were in St. Louis. It was my ex Gary's birthday. And we have a show later on today. This will be nice. We'll do something fun from your birthday. And all of a sudden we hear in the door, housekeeping. We're like, oh, okay, what is it? We open the door and there's my mom, flown in, got the room next door to be there for Gary's birthday and so we could hang out. And we just had a fantastic couple of days together with her. And then this is the best all-time mom surprise. We were before that, in the early 90s, we were on Broadway. And it came time for Passover and we were in New York. We got to go to our beloved cousins, Eric and Lois, in Connecticut for Passover. And that year they were so magnanimous that the Seder was me, them, their immediate family, plus Gary and Gary's family. We got to actually having a meeting of the families at this wonderful Passover dinner table, and we're just thinking, oh my God, wouldn't it be great if Mom was here? We were like, it would make all the difference. And Eric gets up and goes, oh, it's time for Elijah. We have to open the door for Elijah. So he goes open the doors for Elijah, and in comes back Eric, and then there's this person with a sheet, like a ghost. And we're like, it's the spirit of Elijah. We're like, what the heck? And they pulled the sheet off, and there was Mom, right from the airport, coming to the Seder. They worked the whole thing out, and we lost it. I mean, it was such an amazing, it was exactly what we wanted to have happen. So beautiful, never forget that. And we really thought the same. We were kind of like the same person, kind of peas in the pod, almost to the point of finishing each other's sentences a lot. And sometimes, without planning it, we would dress the same, which is kind of scary. But For my 40th birthday, I was like, I'm gonna have this kind of cool outfit. I have these cool like leopard pants that someone gave me, this kind of nice black shirt. And Mom comes around the corner wearing leopard pants and a black shirt. Another time, this is a picture of me back for an audition. I went to pick up Mom, and I wore this to the audition for Zorba, and there's Mom in the exact same outfit. And I'm like, it's from Henry Scott Holland, and it's a bridge. I'm just cutting it, but death is nothing at all. It does not count. I have only slipped away. I've only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am I, and you are you. And the old life that we lived so fondly together is untouched, unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you, for an interval, somewhere very near, just round the corner. All is well. Nothing is hurt, nothing is lost. One brief moment, and all will be as it was before. How we shall laugh at the trouble of parting when we meet again. And I can't wait to meet you again face to face. Thank you. So, I was so stupid to think that I could sing today. So, this is Mom's favorite song, This Is Young at Heart. So if you know it, or if you kind of zhuzh along with it, please join me. I would really appreciate it. Fairy tales can come true, it can happen to you. Fairy tales can come true, it can happen to you. If you're young at heart, for it's hard you will find. For it's hard you will find to be narrow of mind. If you're young at heart, you can go to extremes. You can go to extremes with impossible dreams. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part. You have a head start if you are among the very young at heart.